Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson makes someone miss. Garrett Wilson's loose to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Breece Hall cuts up the middle. Breece Hall's loose. Breece Hall's gone. Breece Hall is gone. He walks into the end zone. Josh Allen fires it over the middle. Intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks off Allen. Sauce Gardner, let's go. The rookie picks off Josh Allen. With it. The Jets ball. Oh my God. Drops back to pass. He fires it over the middle. Touchdown. Garrett Wilson. The New York Jets tie the football game. The rookie. The Jets win. The Jets win. Ashton Davis. Ices the game. Let's go. Handle Quinton Williams with the tackle for loss. That's a loss of 5 yards. Josh Allen is going to fire up a bomb. Josh Allen. Sauce Gardner's there for the game winner. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills and improved to 6-3 on the year. Sauce Gardner. That's how we get on the ball, boy. Yeah. Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? We got some breaking news to talk about. The New York Jets season is alive, folks. Mike White is back, and he is playing on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. And we got a lot to break down in today's live stream, guys. Hope you had a fantastic holidays, Christmas over the weekend. And now it wasn't a good week for the Jets because we lost our game. We lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We looked like crap, and we lost. Zach Wilson benched. Yeah. Disappointing. 4 losses in a row. But outside of that, guys, we won this weekend. The New York Jets won this weekend without even winning their own games. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Everything the Jets needed to go their way this weekend went exactly our way. And as you guys are all aware, the Jets' playoff hopes are alive. Absolutely alive. Now let me break down what needs to happen for the Jets to make the playoffs. They need to win the last 2 games of the season, and the Patriots need to lose 1 of the last 2 games of the season. So think of it this way. If the Jets beat the Seahawks and the Patriots lose to the Dolphins, that means that game in Miami is a win and you're in. And that's all I ever wanted. I want the playoffs, but I also want to make sure we at least get into the final week of the year where it means something. And here we are. Now, this is great news for a lot of reasons about Mike White because I don't know if Jets fans would have confidence in this team without Mike White. And Mike White, we all know, gives this Jets team the best situation to win for all the right reasons. We saw Zach Wilson against the Detroit Lions. Had a lot of bad, had some good flashes, loses. All right, Zach, this is your chance on Thursday night. Primetime football. Whole world's watching. Can Zach get it together? Can he prove to be trending in the right direction? No, absolutely not. Looked like he didn't belong. Looked completely lost. Had no confidence in himself. Looked like he doesn't even have a will to play. And the Jets put in Chris Streveler. And that seemed like, at that point, for Jets fans and even NFL fans, that's the end of Zach Wilson in terms of as a New York Jet. Now, we will see what happens with Zach throughout his career and with his future with the Jets. But we're focusing on Mike White today, folks, because Mike White is giving this Jets team the best situation to succeed. And let's cheers to that. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a water, grab a tea, whatever you guys drink, grab some food, kick back, and let's talk some ball, man. It's been a minute. I took a weekend off to celebrate Christmas with my family, my friends, and I hope you guys did as well. Happy holidays to everybody. Please do me a gigantic favor. Hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show if you didn't already. We got 16 likes. 16. That's it. Only 16 of you guys hit the like button with 88 people watching. So please hit that like button, guys. It really does help out the channel a lot. Now we're going to break down what this means for the Jets in the last two games, more importantly against the Seattle Seahawks with Mike White. What is the offense going to look like? What do they need to improve on with Mike White out there? Because this offensive line needs to get better. The run game needs to get better. It's not all about Mike White. There's a lot of issues with the offense outside of the quarterback position against the Jaguars that we'll be breaking down, of course. My Jordan Love comment, don't look bad now. We'll see, awesome LA. We got a whole offseason to talk about that for sure. Appreciate the donation, my friend. So let's get into the Mojo report. As you guys know, Mojo is a proud sponsor of Jets Media. And Mike White is trending up on the market when he was announced the starter. $4.94. He's approaching the $5 mark. Mike White, if you want to invest in, now's a great time. And speaking of being a great time to invest in a player, Garrett Wilson is trending down because he did not have a quarterback throwing him the football properly on Thursday night. So he declined a little bit this week. But we all know with Mike White, Garrett Wilson averages over 100 yards per game, averages a touchdown a game. Now is the time to invest in Garrett Wilson, especially we know that Mike White's returning. So at $15.15 for Garrett Wilson, that is a steal for what he's going to become at the end of the year. So invest in Garrett Wilson today. Other players that are on the market, Zonovan Knight, who's coming off two back-to-back bad games for the New York Jets at the running back position. He's trending down on the market. Elijah Moore at only $11.45. I think the one thing that we know about Mike White is he elevates the offensive playmakers around him. So all these players trending down is because of the incompetence at the quarterback play. But we got the two tight ends in Conklin and Uzama trending up on the market. So those are two good players as well. But if I'm going to invest in anybody, it's definitely Garrett Wilson and Zonovan Knight at only $2.55. And even Mike freaking White I'd invest in. Absolutely. So definitely consider investing in these players, guys. Scan the QR code on the screen today to download Mojo, or click the link down below in the description to sign up for Mojo today so you can start getting your portfolio all ready to go and starting investing in your New York Jets. Now let's break down what this offense needs to do with Mike White at the realm. First of all, we need to establish a run game. There is no offense without the run game. As good as Mike White has been with this Jets team, there's no chance that we can win football games in these last two outings away without a run game. And that has nothing to do with the quarterback. Zach Wilson was not the reason why they weren't running the ball against the Lions and the Jaguars. That's the offensive line. That's the offensive coordinator. That's the offensive line coach. It's the scheme. It's the running backs. It's everything. Let's go. Come on, baby. This is a great time. It sparks some life back into the season. Season's not over. So outside of Mike White returning, Mike LaFleur needs to improve big time. Running back, running game, tight ends. It all needs to figure itself out. And even the defense got to be playing better, right? The defense, my take on the defense, guys, I feel like we hold this Jets defense to such a high standard that when they're not playing elite top-level defense, we think they're playing like crap. When the reality is, it's just not true. Did they have some flaws against the Jaguars? Absolutely. Did they allow the Jaguars to go 95-plus yards on one drive and score a touchdown? Yes, they did. Was that the only touchdown they gave up? Yes, it was. So the Jets' defense has not been perfect the last couple of games. And if we want to have any chance of the playoffs, we have to be on our A game. We're versing a Seattle Seahawks team who is not trending in the right direction, and we have to be on our A game in this one. So now the defense, it's up to them to start creating turnovers and helping out the offense. But I think every single Jets fan understands how much this means for the rest of the season with Mike White returning. Because if Mike White was not cleared, that would have been a big issue. Who starts against the Seahawks? Is it Zach Wilson, who we benched? Is it Joe Flacco with no offensive line? Is it Chris Streveler, who can just simply run the ball and not throw the ball? Who is it going to be? All the answers are finally answered, and all the questions are finally answered, rather, and it's finally going to be Mike White. And that's really it. And let me remind you guys how the Jets can make the playoffs, because we have a Patriots fan in the chat saying, if you all want to make the playoffs, you better hope the Patriots lose out. So We can make the playoffs even if the Patriots do not lose out. The Patriots only need to lose one of their last 2 games. And if the Jets win out, we are in the playoffs. So if the Jets beat the Seahawks and the Patriots lose to the Dolphins, that means the Jets go into Miami the final week of the season with a win and you're in scenario. Win and you're in. Now, if the Jets beat the Seahawks and the Patriots beat the Dolphins, then the Jets have to beat the Dolphins themselves, and then we have to watch the Bills and the Patriots game closely. Because if the Patriots win out, if the Patriots win their last 2 games, the Jets are out of the playoffs. Unless the Chargers lose as well, the last 2 games, which I don't really see happening. So, hey, finish off the season 9-8. And if we're in the playoffs, we're in the playoffs. If we're not in the playoffs because of a tiebreaker against the Patriots, that's going to sting. But give me the final game of the season against the Dolphins an opportunity to make the damn playoffs. Because to be frank with you guys, sorry if there's any Dolphins fans in the chat, but I am not afraid of Tua Tagovailoa one freaking bit. Okay? Can he get the ball in their playmakers' hands and can they make plays? Absolutely. But I am not afraid of Tua Tagovailoa at all. So get me into Miami with a win and you're in situation, and it all starts in Seattle. It all starts in Seattle, baby. Geno Smith versus Mike freaking White. What's it going to be? Geno Smith versus Mike White. How is that matchup going to be? Woo-wee. So, the reality is, man, this Jets team has to prove themselves because they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. We are on a 4-game losing streak. So there is a lot of things that needs to be worked out for this Jets team. It's that simple. It's that simple. Someone's called me delusional because I think Tua's bad. Okay. Tua's had 2 horrible games this season. The rest he's played amazing against bad defenses. The first time we're seeing Tua play good defenses, look what happened. I call it how I see it, bro. I'm not delusional. I watched that game against the Packers, and when Tua needed to be the clutch hero, he literally threw the worst interceptions I've ever seen. Zach Wilson level stuff. I don't know if any. Am I the only one that's not afraid of Tua, or is everyone in the chat afraid of Tua? He's a good quarterback, but he doesn't scare me. I'm scared of their playmakers more than Tua. I'm scared of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle because Tua can make an easy throw over the middle of the field. He can do that, but if you get pressure on him, he threw 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter. I mean, call me delusional all you want. But I'm not afraid of Tua, okay? I'm just not. Speaking how it is. Even their own fan base is turning on the quarterback, bro. So, I don't know how you can watch Tua in these last couple of games and come away with it thinking that he has a chance to be the guy. I don't know. That's just me. And listen, I'm no one to talk bad about a quarterback because we have our own bust on our hands with Zach Wilson. But I'm just speaking how it is. I'm more afraid of Geno Smith than I am on Tua, to be real with you. Because Geno Smith leads the league in completion percentage. I don't know if he still does, but I know he has been all season long. And DK Metcalf is a monster to keep up with. Sauce Gardner is going to have a big, big test. Kenneth Walker is a very good running back as a rookie. So this Jets team is going to be tested in Seattle in a hostile environment. But I got confidence in Mike White moving the damn football down the field, spreading the ball around, giving Garrett Wilson the targets that he deserves, getting the ball to Elijah Moore, feeding Corey Davis, getting it to CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin. Hopefully establishing a run game with Bam Knight and Michael Carter. Because that's really the key. If we do not have Bam Knight and Michael Carter running the ball efficiently, I do not know if this Jets team is going to be able to win, because it really comes down to if this offensive line can open holes for the running attack. And to be frank with you guys, we haven't been able to do that in 2 straight weeks. And the scary part about it is we saw the Detroit Lions defense get absolutely destroyed by the Carolina Panthers on the ground. And we couldn't even run the ball in the Lions at all. I also think that had a lot to do with, with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Teams were just stacking the box, daring Zach to throw the ball, where they're going to stop the run and they're going to force Zach Wilson to throw. And whenever they force Zach Wilson to throw, he didn't do anything. So this is not going to be an easy game on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. I am not saying that this is a guaranteed win by any stretch of the imagination, because the Seattle Seahawks are playing for a playoff spot just like the New York Jets. And we're going to be in Seattle. We're going to be in their house, who I think we all know is one of the most hostile environments in the league. But people need to realize Mike White adds a different juice to this offense because he can spread the ball around. He can scan a defense. He can go to the hot route. I mean, he knows how to operate a system. Now, does Mike White make us, just a completely different team where we're going to be unstoppable? Absolutely not. But what Mike White does is it infuses confidence in this team. I guarantee you the offense, hearing that Mike White's back, Garrett Wilson's happy, the offensive line is happy. I bet you the entire team is breathing in a breath fresh of air, seeing the Patriots lose, seeing the Dolphins lose, seeing all these teams lose over the weekend that we needed to lose, and then Mike White getting cleared. Now, what does sting is, if we just beat the Jaguars or if we just beat the Lions, we would be in the playoffs right now, controlling our own destiny, looking at this in a way where if we win our last 2 games, we're in no matter what. But unfortunately for the Jets, that's not the case. Let's not harp on the past, and let's focus on the today, which is honing in on the Seattle Seahawks, man. So, guys, if you're just tuning into the show, please do me a gigantic favor. Hit that thumbs up button on your way in. We're just getting started here on a Jets Media breaking news live stream that New York Jets quarterback Mike White is cleared to start versus the Seattle freaking Seahawks. Now, again, this is not all on Mike White. Mike White needs his team around him to play excellent football, because Mike White, his first start, balled out against the Chicago Bears and beat them, and that's a bad team. We all know that. And then his second start against the Minnesota Vikings, he goes off, but they were unable to capitalize in the red zone, unable to score the touchdowns, unable to squeak out that victory. And then he goes up until to Buffalo. Hostile environment, plays a tough game, gets injured, loses. So Mike White's 1-2 this season. So can Mike White win? Can he go out there and win the game for the Jets? Sorry, man. Let me see the chat. I see someone's asking me a question. Richie, I have a question. Why aren't they playing James Robinson and Bryce Hall at corner? So, the reason is they like Zonovan Knight over James Robinson, and you can only have 3 active running backs. Well, they could have 4 active running backs, but you got to have only there's a limitation to your active rosters. So, James Robinson is the odd man out because they like Zonovan Knight over him. They're not going to bench Michael Carter. And then Ty Johnson has value on special teams. So Ty Johnson has value on special teams, which is why he gets the nod over James Robinson. So it's basically picking Bam Knight over James Robinson. Bryce Hall, there's a lot of healthy corners over him. Sauce Gardner is healthy. TJ Reed, Michael Carter II, and the guy that's over Bryce Hall is Brennan Eccles, who brings special teams value, which is why Bryce Hall's inactive. I like Bryce Hall a lot, by the way. I loved him last year. And that's how deep we are, that we have a player in Bryce Hall who is just inactive. So that's really the reason. All right. So, Merry frickin' Christmas. I know that it's over, but this is it, man. Mike White, unrestricted free agent after the season. He wants to prove to be a potential long-term answer for the Jets. He wants to be a potential answer for another team because he's a free agent, man. This is his chance. This is Mike White's opportunity to prove to the New York Jets. Can you freaking imagine if Mike White goes out there, beats the Seattle Seahawks, Mike White goes out there, beats the Miami Dolphins, and hopefully for us, the Patriots lose, and all of a sudden, the Jets are in the playoffs with Mike effing White? That changes his entire outlook of the season. And I know that we're on a 4-game losing streak right now, and I know that the vibes are not as high as we would like it to be, but after this weekend, after seeing the Dolphins lose, after seeing the Patriots lose, we're freaking back, guys. The season's freaking alive. We are alive. Let's go. That's freaking huge, man. That's so huge. And the reason why Jets fans should be very satisfied and happy that Mike White is playing is because we only have 2 games left. And let's hope that it's 3 games, including a playoff berth. If this Jets team gets into the playoffs with Mike White, it's going to be a completely different conversation. And let's go, baby. I don't care if the Jets make the playoffs and lose, right? Obviously, we want them to win in the playoffs, but all we need is a ticket to the playoffs, bro. And that will lift so much off of this fan base and organization because the Jets have the longest playoff drought in the NFL. The longest playoff drought in the league. Do I have to say that again? The last time the Jets were in the playoffs was 2010. That's 12 freaking years. If they make the playoffs, I don't care what happens in the playoffs. If we have to go into Kansas City and verse Patrick Mahomes and they beat us, so be it. Just get me there. Get me there. Give me an extra game of football this season, bro. And it all starts on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. And I don't really like, one thing I will say, guys, I got to be straight up with you. I know it's all positive vibes, but I do got to say, very frustrating that we have to rely on other teams to do the business for us and we can't take care of our own. And we're not making the playoffs without taking care of our own business from this point on. If the Jets can go 4 straight losses and then win the last 2 games, finish 9-8, squeak into the playoffs, that is a gigantic positive for this season. And it's going to tell us a lot about the offseason that Mike White potentially could be the guy. Seriously, bro. Seriously. And the Jets have lost 4 in a row. And their run game has been utterly non-existent. So there's no guarantee that we even can beat the Seahawks at all. But the reality is, the playoffs are alive. Holy crap, they're alive. We got Parks in the chat. What up, Parks? How you feeling, Mo? That the Jets' playoff hopes are alive. All the Jets need to make the playoffs is for them to win the last 2 games, which is definitely, not an easy thing to do after what we've seen from this Jets team. And we need the Patriots to lose once out of the last 2. So that's what it would take for the Jets to make the playoffs. Woo! Mike White and Saleh or Sean Payton with Wilson? Sean Payton with Wilson is just totally unrealistic. It's just not happening. So I'm not even going to. It's Mike White and Saleh, right? I mean, we're not getting Sean Payton. So not happening, Bob. But, obviously that would be awesome, Sean Payton. But I like Saleh, baby. Give me Robert Saleh. Mike White, a.k.a. Ryan Fitzpatrick, is going to let you down, Richie. Oh, man, I hope not, man. Let's go. I think you can at least agree, Parks, that Mike White gives this team the best situation to win out of all of our options, which is why I'm happy. It gives me some type of optimism. Some type of optimism, man. Because this season, bro, has been ups, it's been downs, it's been ups, woo, and then it's downs. And right now we're on a down. But we're slowly working our way up. But the only way we really go up is if we freaking win a game for once. Because we got to take care of our own business. We got to win. And we do not have an easy task at hand in Seattle against a really good Seattle Seahawks team. Very well coached by Pete Carroll. They got talent across that team all over the place, both sides of the ball. They got players. But let's go get the dub in Seattle, and let's go into the Dolphins game with an opportunity to actually make the damn playoffs. What? So, what I'm really excited for as well is a guy named Garrett Wilson, because this is really good news for Garrett Wilson. The unfortunate reality is Zach Wilson had no chemistry with Garrett, and he could not find him the ball. The amount of times I saw Garrett Wilson streaking over the middle wide freaking open and Zach Wilson not see him or sail the ball and Garrett Wilson get frustrated is way too often, bro. Way too often. The one thing I love about Mike White is he can throw the ball over the middle of the field and feed our guy, Garrett Wilson. Because that guy, Garrett Wilson, by the way, needs the ball in his hands all the freaking time. He is way too talented to not have the ball in his hands at least 7 times a game. Okay? Give me 10 targets a game for Garrett Wilson. Mike White gives him the best opportunities to get the ball in his hands. Feed him deep, intermediate throws, all you need. And we need this team around Mike White to rally behind him, bro. Because I have to say it again. Just because Mike White's returning doesn't mean there's not issues that needs to be talked about for us to actually be competitive and beat the Seahawks. The run game needs to be on its A game. The offensive line needs to protect Mike White. The running backs needs to hit the holes and find the rhythm of the run. Obviously, the wide receivers needs to catch the balls in the clutch. The defense, they need to start playing like they did in the middle of the season when we were on a 4-game winning streak, when we were turning the ball over, getting sacks, getting interceptions, not giving up a lot of points, not giving up a lot of yards. That's the formula. Mike White is not a savior, right? Mike White's not a superhero quarterback like a Mahomes that can put the team on his back and just do all these like magic craziness. That's not Mike White's game. Mike White's game is he's a system quarterback that can operate the system properly and put the Jets in proper situations to score points efficiently. He's not a guy that's going to just be like, all right, I'm Superman. I'm here, and I'm going to lead this team when everything's around me is trash. No, that's not how this works, guys. Mike White needs help. And newsflash, remember when the Jets were 5-2 with Zach Wilson and they were on a 4-game winning streak? Was that because of Zach Wilson? No. It was because of Breece Hall, Elijah Vera Tucker, who we miss dearly, the run game, and the defense. So we proved, right? It's obvious that we're missing Breece Hall and ABT, but we beat the Buffalo Bills without Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker. And that was with Zach Wilson. So we proved that we can beat good opponents without Breece Hall and ABT. And we ran the ball on the Buffalo Bills in the fourth quarter with James Robinson and Michael Carter in that game. So we have tape out there of the Jets succeeding without Breece Hall and ABT. Run the football, play hard-nosed defense, win on special teams, rally behind the coach. And this is Robert Saleh's big test as well, bro. He has to get this team ready to go. They have to be prepared. They have to understand what the scheme needs to be. They have to exploit the Seahawks' weaknesses because Pete Carroll is a seasoned coach, one of the best coaches in the game. So this Jets squad has a lot of, I can tell, this week there's going to be a lot of optimism, a lot of different energy flowing in practice and in that building. The holidays went by. We're on a mini bye since we played on Thursday night. Vibes are going to be high through the roof. And let's go freaking prove that we can go make some noise, baby. Nathaniel Hackett fired. Sheesh. That's wild. Let's go. Everybody, hit the thumbs up button, man. Let's get to 100 likes. We got some breaking news to talk about. And I hope you guys all had a fantastic Christmas with your friends, with your family. And we are rolling on the channel, baby. We rolling. Because I got a lot of optimism, man. Because the season's freaking alive. After that Jaguars game, bro, everything was just, oh my gosh, it was so bad. For the right reasons. The Jets got embarrassed on primetime football. Trevor Lawrence looked like an absolute stud, picking apart our freaking defense. Little check and dunk, dink and dunk, moving the ball efficiently. And then the Jets could not freaking move the ball at all. And our defense did as much as they could, and we lose. Let's handle our freaking business and go out there and prove that this season is real, bro. Come on. Awesome LA with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. I need to say, whenever we get a rookie quarterback, can we please sit him a year like Mahomes, please? I honestly think that's what's going to happen. I can see the Jets go into this offseason and either making Mike White the starter next year or getting another veteran like a Jimmy G or who knows, and maybe even going into the draft and getting a quarterback. Similar to like the Jordan Love situation, but Jordan Love, not that similar, right? We're not going to sit the quarterback for that long. But who knows? Maybe they'll bench Zach Wilson for a year and think he's better, or maybe they'll draft a new quarterback, sit him behind the veteran for a couple seasons, and then when he's ready to go, he gets put out there. But the one thing I will say is there's no way that this Jets team can afford taking another risk on a quarterback, starting him as a rookie, because this team is way too good around the quarterback to be patient for a young quarterback to develop. We are in year 2 of Zach, so it's like, okay, you're in year 2, you should be able to figure it out by now. Year 3, you should be able to really take that next leap. But obviously, we all understand that Zach Wilson simply lost all of his confidence. You can even feel that he lost the passion for football, and that's scary. If you're a quarterback like Zach Wilson and you lost your passion for the game, you lost the fun in it, you're done. If you're a quarterback and you lost the fun in football, you are done. You're not even going to be a backup. You're not even going to be a backup, bro. You're going to be done for your career. Oh, man. Jets fans, we needed this. We needed some type of a positive lift heading into the final 2 weeks of the year, because it's been nothing but sadness, disappointment, and sadness, and disappointment, and sadness, and disappointment. That's all it's been in the last 4 weeks. 4 weeks it's been. I have the Jets schedule on my board over here, and I write a W or an L on the games, and it really pains me to look at 4 straight L's. There's 4 straight L's I'm looking at. That can't happen again for the 5th straight time. Can't happen. Cannot happen. Glazer reporting Jets moving from Zach Wilson. Yeah, I saw this report. We saw Fox report that the Jets could be moving on from Zach Wilson. Definitely going to be a lot of buzz surrounding that. It wouldn't shock me if they moved off of Zach Wilson and just completely got rid of him and want to give him a fresh start. And I think that this Jets regime has proved that they deserve another chance, another swing at a quarterback based on what they've done around the quarterback. I personally believe that. So this Jets team, wow, did he wow. Now, we need this offensive line, because it does not matter who the quarterback is, bro. We also have to realize that Mike White, he has fractured ribs. He's cleared to play, but you know that there's some type of subconscious feeling in his system of a fractured rib where he's going to a little be protecting it. I mean, he could throw the ball. He doesn't have any hindrance in that way, but the scary part about Mike White playing is if he gets hit in a certain spot, it can really turn him back. And let's hope that doesn't happen. Awesome LA with another $2 super chat. Facts. I would rather get a quarterback in the 2nd or the 3rd. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they're going to do. So Mike White returning gives this Jets fan base a lot of life. And also the Patriots losing and the Dolphins losing gives this Jets team so much opportunities to squeak back into the playoff hunt, baby. 4 straight L's, and we're still here. We are still here. We're a 1 game out of the playoffs. 1. And since we versed the Dolphins at the end of the season, we control our own destiny if we could beat the Seahawks. Come on, baby. Let's go. Get hype. Get hype. This is our last chance to be hyped this season, which is why I was planning to go live today regardless, talking about the whole playoffs and saying we have to hope Mike White's cleared. So I'm very thankful that I waited it out until the news broke about Mike White returning, because he brings this Jets team a lot. Now, talking about Mike White's future with the Jets, I will say this. Whether the Jets bring back Mike White as the starter or the backup, I don't care. He needs to be brought back next year. Now, if another team is out there and offers Mike White starter level money and they want to make Mike White their starting quarterback, but we go out there and make a splash for a veteran quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson or Jimmy G, I don't know, you name it, then I don't think Mike White's going to return, especially if there's a team out there that wants to pay him starting level money. But I will say this. If the Jets don't give Mike White the starting opportunity, I would absolutely love to bring him back as a backup. I want Mike White as a New York Jet forever, whether he is a franchise quarterback or he's our franchise backup. Because the one thing we all know as Jets fans that is not a good thing is we can never stay healthy at the quarterback position for a full season. I don't think in my entire lifetime I've watched a quarterback play for a full season without getting injured. I don't. Did Fitzpatrick play that all those games? Who knows? But for whatever reason, we can never stay healthy at the quarterback spot. So I'm hoping that if Mike White gets brought back, he's either a backup to whoever our new starter is, or he's our starter and going into a competition. If we get an offensive line that can protect Mike White, I think he could stay healthy. I mean, the hits that he was taking, bro, and the ribs, what do you want from the guy? So, again, guys, this type of news reignites this fan base. It gives us a little feeling of hope, a little feeling of, yes, we can actually have a chance here. Yes, we have a quarterback that has proven that he can actually move the football, that can actually put the ball in the playmaker's hands, that can actually put the ball in the end zone, right? Mike White's proved that. Now, has he proved to be a winning franchise quarterback? No, he has not. He's beat the Chicago Bears this season. It's the only team he's beat. Now's the time for him to prove that he could be a winner, because all the stats on offense means nothing if they don't win football games. This is a team effort here. This is about the O-line and the running game. This is about the wide receivers. This is also about Mike LaFleur and the offensive coaching staff. And, of course, Mike White. Because if you rewatch the film against the Jaguars and you watch what Zach Wilson was doing, bro, Zach does everything you're not supposed to do as a quarterback when it comes to reading defenses. He can't pick up blitzes. He can't throw to the hot routes. He can't go through his progressions. All those things Mike White does very well. And that's what a quarterback is capable of doing. When you are a quarterback, you absolutely, number one, before you have any type of arm talent, got to be able to scan the field. And that's why Mike White is an efficient quarterback that can do those types of things. For example, I'm going to bring us back to the Jaguars game. Bear with me. Quinnen Williams, strip sack. We get the ball back on the first possession. Wow. The Jets defense sets up the offense beautifully. What happens? We don't even gain a yard, and Zach Wilson gets sacked. Now, how did he get sacked? Are we going to blame him, or are we going to blame the offensive line on that play? You blame the quarterback. Want to know why? Because they were showing blitz. the Jaguars. They sent 5, and Zach did not even pick it up. The quarterback's job is to read the defense, see that the blitz is coming, and throw to your hot route and get the ball out of your hands. And Zach doesn't do it, ever. Mike White does that. Mike White scans the defense. Mike White scans the pre-snap. He's going to notice that defender is coming, and he's going to get rid of that ball, whether the ball's complete or not. I don't care. At least you don't take the sack, which is the worst thing you could do. It's an anticipation throw. It's a hot route. Oh, the blitz is coming. You get the ball out of your hands fast. That's why the offensive line prefers Mike White over Zach Wilson, because yes, Zach Wilson has athleticism. He has mobility. He can move around the pocket, but he doesn't get rid of the ball. He holds on to the ball way too long. Mike White gets rid of that football because he has anticipation. He knows where his progressions are. He goes through 1, 2, 3 in one hitch, and he is scanning the field. He can read things with his defense. So I just feel like, when it comes to being an NFL quarterback, it's so much more mental than we think. And, none of us really understand what it's like to be out there. But when you watch Zach Wilson just frantically looking around, like not knowing where the ball needs, not knowing how to scan the field, it just really makes you wonder, I don't know if he's ever going to figure it out. And Sam Darnold had a similar issue early on in his career. And quite frankly, man, sorry, Sam Darnold was better on the Jets than Zach Wilson. And that's a fact. Not an opinion anymore. And I was way higher on Sam Darnold than I was on Zach Wilson coming out of college. I was a Sam Darnold truther. Anybody that's been on my channel since the Sam Darnold days, you guys know. If you're new to my channel, you probably don't know. But if you were with me on this channel during the Sam Darnold era, which is pretty much when I started this channel, I was the biggest Sam Darnold supporter, believer. And when we got rid of him, it was sad. And it took me a while to adjust to the fact that we're moving off of Sam and then we're getting Zach. I'm not lying to you guys, by the way. I remember thinking to myself, is this the right decision? Is Zach Wilson that much better than Sam? And then I watch Zach and I'm like, all right, he's got some talent. Let's see if it'll work out. And I learned my mistake of crowning Sam Darnold as the franchise quarterback too prematurely. And I told myself, I am not doing that with Zach Wilson. I'm not going to buy one Zach Wilson jersey, which I have not, thankfully. And I'm not going to be saying he's a franchise guy. I'm going to be supporting him. I'm going to be rooting for him. I'm going to be wanting him to succeed, but I'm not going to be crowning him the franchise guy too prematurely until he proves it, because I did that with Sam too early. And I can admit that. I literally determined Sam as the franchise guy for the next 20 years the moment we drafted him. I was like, we got him. We got our quarterback for the future in Sam, which is why it hurt so much when Sam started playing like crap, and then it started to come obvious that we're moving off of Sam. That really hurt because I really thought he was the guy. And then looking back on it, Sam Darnold's better than Zach Wilson. Now, Sam, I don't know where we would be with Sam at this moment, but that's conversation isn't really too much. That conversation isn't needed. And by the way, Sam isn't miles better than Zach, because Zach is bad, but Sam is not great either. Just want to make you realize I'm not sitting here saying that I think Sam Darnold's a great quarterback right now for the Panthers. Panthers are winning now with him, but Sam is just being smart and making the plays with his legs, and he's not becoming a franchise elite quarterback by any means. But my point is, I was just going back and looking back at the Jets' quarterback history, and now they potentially could, right? I'm not crowning it. I'm not saying he is, but they potentially could have their long-term answer with Mike White right in front of their faces for all we freaking know. If he wins these last 2 games and he gets us into the playoffs and he plays well in the playoffs and the Jets are competitive in the playoffs, hell, what if we win a playoff game or maybe we lose a playoff game in a close battle? Then all of a sudden, how are you as a Jets organization going to move off of Mike White? How? How do you do that? So this is your time, Mike. when it comes to Mike White as an individual, it's very unfortunate for him that he had to get hurt the way he did during his opportunity to prove to be the guy. Because who knows? Do the Jets beat the Lions with Mike White? Do the Jets beat the Jaguars with Mike White? We don't know. That is all hypotheticals. Now, I want to say it again. I am not sitting here telling you that Mike White is the long-term answer. But I'm also telling you that Mike White has an opportunity to prove to be the guy in these last 2 games. He does. He could prove to be the guy. He could prove to not be the guy. Some people will say, well, Richie, I don't care what he does. He's not the long-term guy no matter what. You can have that thought. I don't really care. I, personally, am going to give Mike White these last 2 games. He deserves an opportunity to prove to be a franchise quarterback. I think that he possesses a lot of qualities that I like. Also, how can use PrizePicks in New Jersey? PrizePicks isn't available in Jersey yet, but they will be soon. So stay tuned, my man. I appreciate the $2. Jay called Zach a bust since week 1, and Jake Asman blocked him. Yeah, man. Some people were on the Zach train, off the Zach train early too. Tis a Christmas miracle, good sir. V-Man, you already know the vibes, baby. You know the vibes. My guy Hennessy with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, Hennessy. You're very thankful, my friend. Instant coffee never tasted so good this morning. You already know the vibes. Merry Christmas, Richie. We got a chance. Hennessy, thank you for the generous Christmas donation, my man. Really does help out the channel a ton. Everybody in the chat, give my man Hennessy some dono hype. We all know where Hennessy is at. He's pumped up. I'm pumped up too, Hennessy. We got a chance, and that's all I care about right now, baby. We got a freaking chance. Season's alive. Season is very much alive. It's alive, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I don't know how many times we got to say this, but guys, this fan base needed something to get us out of the gutter. This season has been so freaking, interesting, bro. And we needed some type of hope to cling on to. Even if it's hope that's going to unfortunately disappoint us in the end, we're used to it by now, right? Guys, if we lose against the Seahawks, we lose against the Dolphins, and we finish off the year on a 6-game losing streak, that's going to hurt. But I think us as a Jets fans, we're strong enough to handle it by now. At least I am. I've been through all the pain and the misery in the world to be able to handle this. So, which is the reason why we deserve to cling on to this hope. Believe in this team until we're mathematically eliminated. There's no reason to believe that this Jets team cannot figure it out. Because we've proven this season already that we know how to win close games. We know how to go on a little winning streak. We know how to win. We know how to, do winning football. It's proof that we've been able to do it, but not recently. That's the only issue. The last 4 weeks, we've not been proving it. And that's an issue. Absolutely. So now this Jets squad's got to go out there and they got to rally around their guy. They got to freaking rally around their guy, baby. I haven't really been on Jets Twitter much, so I'm sure they're all having a field day with this news. But us as a fan base, we needed to have some type of optimism because, to be frank with you guys, if Mike White was not cleared to play on Sunday and Zach Wilson was starting again, or it was Joe Flacco or something, there would be no optimism from this fan base at all. It would be just a prove it type of thing. But now there's a spark of light. There's a spark of light, baby. And I don't want you guys to make it seem like I think it's a guaranteed we're making the playoffs. It's a guaranteed we're beating the Seahawks. I'm not saying any of that stuff. But the reality is with Mike White returning, that gives this Jets team the best opportunity to win. It does. But it's not all on Mike. And I said this early on in the stream, man. It's not all on Mike White. The team's got to do a lot around him. A lot. He's not a Superman-style quarterback. He's not a quarterback that can just improvise and make something happen. That's not his game. He's a pocket passer. He's an operator. He's someone that knows how to operate a system. So let's get the ball out quick. Let's move the rock, and let's have an explosive day on offense. This has been a season of just ups and downs, bro. Downs and ups. Lawrence, thank you, bro. Sign Jimmy G, re-sign Mike, and draft Richardson. Yeah, I mean, you got your quarterback room right there. That is a deep quarterback room. You got Jimmy Garoppolo. If Jimmy G goes down, you got Mike White, and then you got Richardson for the long run. I think Jets fans will get behind this. I think so. Thank you for the $2. Everaldo, thanks for the $2 as well. Where's Chris Sims in his mouth? Yeah, I don't know where he's at. Obviously, we all know that Chris Sims is probably one of the biggest Zach Wilson supporters ever. And I'm curious what he has to say. Because I think it's pretty simple on how to break down what Zach Wilson's been doing recently. Pretty simple, man. He doesn't have confidence. He doesn't have confidence in himself. He lost his rhythm. He lost his fire. How are you going to be a successful quarterback without confidence in yourself? How? I mean, did you guys watch the press conference after the game? What Zach Wilson was saying? He sounded broken, and he's even admitted that he lost his confidence. How are you going to admit that to the media? I mean, you can't hide it either. You can't hide you can't go out there with a straight face say, yeah, I have confidence. It's gone. He has confidence that he'll regain the confidence, as he should, because if he doesn't have confidence that he'll regain his confidence, then he's really screwed. If that makes any sense. That was kind of all over the place. But guys, if you're enjoying the show, we got a lot of people, 260 folks tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into this show. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. And the Jets play the last 2 games on the road in Seattle. All I want for Christmas, and Christmas is over, I get that, but all I want is to go into the Dolphins game with an opportunity to make the playoffs. So, by the way, do you guys know who we have to root for this week? Let's go Dolphins. Let's go Dolphins. We need the Dolphins to beat the Patriots so we could beat them the week after. So let's go Dolphins. Because for those of you guys that are not aware of the situation, the Jets beat the Seahawks and the Dolphins beat the Patriots. That means the final week of the season is basically a playoff game because it's a win and you're in for the New York Jets. Nothing else needs to happen besides a win the game and you're in this freaking playoffs. That's all that needs to happen if the Jets win and the Patriots lose this week. So let's freaking go. And if the Patriots end up beating the Dolphins, that means they verse Buffalo. And I'm hoping that Buffalo has something to play for in that game. Which I feel like they would. Because the Chiefs and the Bills are fighting for that number 1 seed. So vibes are high right now, guys. Mike White's freaking back. We got a lot of stuff to break down this week. I do have a question for you guys. Is it worth it to go into the film? Because usually on the channel, I do all 22 film breakdown. Would you guys have any interest in even watching the film of the Jaguars game together tomorrow? Because I don't think anyone cares anymore about Zach Wilson's struggles. So I might have to think of a new topic tomorrow because I don't know if anyone wants to watch a 2-hour slugfest of Zach Wilson looking terrible against the Jaguars, right? Because Zach Wilson's not playing anymore. So I think I'm going to skip the film breakdown this week, guys. I don't know if anyone wants to see that. I don't know. I don't really want to watch that. I mean, I already watched some of the film, and I don't think anyone wants to see that garbage. Screw that. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're going to think of a new topic tomorrow to go live with, man. And I also want to say, bro, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. We're at 15.3K subs. This season has been the best season for Jets media sakes of things. Outside of the Jets as a team and what they do on the field, this has been the most successful season for me as an individual, as a content creator on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and all the platforms because of you guys, because of all you guys watching, because of all the donations, because of all simply hitting the thumbs up buttons, all the action in the live chat, the action in the comment section, all you guys being so active with me, it fuels me and it makes me able to do this full time. And I thank you guys for that opportunity, because without you guys, none of this is possible. None of this. And I just have to say thank you guys so much. And I cannot wait to go through another year on Jets Media and on my other YouTube channels that I have going for me that you guys are aware of, or if you don't. If you're not aware of them, yeah, I have other YouTube channels, by the way. So I don't know, man. I just had to say thank you to everybody. It really, really is awesome that I'm able to do this with you guys. And the Jets, what a freaking season. We're going to look back on this year, bro. Like, my new intro for the streams is a little compilation of all the highlights of the season, of my reactions to it. And after the year, I'm going to really make probably a video of the highlights of every game, the good and the bad, by the way. Not just the wins, but the losses, of me getting pissed off, me being happy, all those different emotions. Because let's go, baby. Let's go. We got a big freaking game. It's a 4 o'clock window as well, I believe, right? Yeah. 4:05. It's also a New Year's Day. So let's start off the New Year's with the W. I also, I don't know if it's too last minute. I got to check the money situation in terms of how much the tickets are. But if the Jets beat the Seahawks and the Patriots lose, am I flying to Miami for that game? Am I flying into Miami for that game? I don't know if it'll be worth it. I'm sure the tickets are kind of ridiculous, especially at the last minute like that. I'll keep an eye on. I'll keep that as an open possibility for me to go to Miami for that game. You never know what might happen, maybe. But the reality is, guys, Mike White returns, which gives this Jets team an opportunity to go out there and handle their own business, rally around their quarterback. Hopefully Mike White can be healthy, get through that game, get us into the Miami game. And by the way, the Miami game for Mike White is going to be a homecoming. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Mike White is from South Florida. So Mike White can have a win-and-you're-in opportunity at his homecoming, his first game in Miami of his career. Let's go beat the Seattle Seahawks and then the Miami Dolphins. All right, folks, the stream is now officially at 1 hour, so we're going to wrap things up. I just want to say again, thank you to everybody tuning into the show. We had a lot of fun content coming your way all throughout the week leading up to the Seattle Seahawks game in Seattle. Mike White's freaking back. And we have to rally around this quarterback, and this fan base needs to rally around this team. Okay? Let's go. Let's go get this dub. Let's get the vibes high as this fan base. Let's get the positive energy going. Let's get the positive vibes on Twitter. I want Jets Twitter to be rolling. I want to see Instagram rolling. I want to see YouTube rolling. Let's freaking go. Thank you again to everybody tuning in to the show. Bold prediction, Garrett Wilson. He wins Rookie of the Week this week because he's going to ball out. And he's going to help this Jets team beat the Seahawks. That's a way too early prediction. Thank you, guys. That's going to wrap up the stream. I love you. Let's go, Jets. Hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas over the weekend. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year's coming up. Let's freaking go, Mike White. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Let's freaking go, Jets. Woo!